Have you ever had a pet go missing? What did you do? Chances are you put posters up on light poles around the neighbourhood, or stuck them in supermarkets or cafes around the place. Maybe took out an ad in the local paper, or these days perhaps you posted a status update on Facebook or tweeted it. Social media is very good for this. Well, that's exactly what happened to my next guest, WA Today reporter Mike Hopkins. His beloved Moggy Bolo went missing last week, and he put the call out to the community and used social media as well. It's fair to say he was a bit surprised by the responses he received. Mike Hopkins, good afternoon to you.
Hello, Russell. How are you going?
Good, mate. Lovely to be talking to you. I have to ask you first, have you found Bolo?
Bolo is still AWOL as of now. Yeah, he hasn't come back yet, so yeah, we're still out there looking. But yeah, as you say, we've come across some quite interesting people as we've gone along. We've learned a bit about our neighbours and about people, sort of humankind in general, if that's not a slightly extravagant thing to say.
Mike, well, let's talk about that. You reckon that there were 5 kinds of responses to your calls to help find Bolo. Let's start with this one. What's a grief tourist?
Well, we found, I mean, a lot of people love pets a lot. And obviously when you put out lost cat posters, or as you say, we put things on Facebook, and we put messages out on Gumtree as well. And some people, I think, just wanted to kind of phone up and just generally commiserate with us, even though they didn't really have any information whatsoever to tell us. So we had people just phoning up and going, oh, was he really nice? Do you miss him a lot? And we'd be going, well, yes, thanks for asking. So, yeah, I called them, in my article, I just kind of called them the grief tourists, because they don't really seem to have much to offer apart from that they want to just phone up and, I guess, share your pain and just have a bit of a wallow. I mean, they're the kind of people who probably enjoy watching the most depressing soapies they can find on the TV, I would say.
I'd love a funeral by the sounds of things.
Well, yes.
What sort of responses did you get from the social bunglers?
Well, these are people, I mean, these were most people's responses, actually, as I tend to find that when you lose a cat, people just blurt out the first cat-related sentence that comes into their head, and they don't necessarily think about whether it's the right thing to say. I mean, you know, if people lose a relative, then everyone's always at pains to make sure they don't say the wrong thing and that whatever they say is very sensitive. But it sort of seems like if you lose a cat, people just go, oh, I had a cat once and it disappeared and it never came back. Oh, good luck finding yours, though. Or you know, oh, yeah, you're lucky, cats are horrible anyway. Cats, you know, and people just sort of, people don't engage brain before opening mouth. A lot of the time is what I have found on my travels in the past week.
My guest on Drive is Mike Hopkins, who's from WA Today. He's written about this. You can go and have a look at it online. And you actually had someone prank call you.
We did indeed. I mean, we posted a notice on Gumtree. We were kind of forewarned that Gumtree does tend to attract the slightly more unsavoury responses, shall we say. We thought we'll do it anyway, so we put an advert about our cat on Gumtree, and we did get one call back fairly late at night by somebody putting on a supposedly hilarious foreign accent and saying that they'd cooked him and he'd finished with him and could we come and pick up his skin, which was slightly unnecessary, I thought. So yeah, that was another, you do tend to meet people who just sort of view that, because you're putting your phone number and details out there, there's people who seem to view that as an invitation to just play a bit of a prank on you.
Michael, was anyone actually helpful?
There were some people helpful. I mean, a neighbour of ours who I actually didn't know before our cat went missing, she lives a couple of streets over from us, and I was out looking for my cat, and then I noticed this sort of torchlight coming down the laneway towards me, and it was this neighbour of mine who'd seen the poster and decided to just go and look through a pitch-dark laneway in the late evening with her 11-year-old son along for the ride, just because she'd seen a cat and thought maybe that she might go and try and track it down and see if it was ours. So, yeah, there's a lot of very helpful people out there who will go the extra mile for you. I think part of it is that if people have a pet themselves, or kids as well, and they sort of, their pet becomes a beloved member of the family, and they kind of project that onto someone else who's lost their cat and like to sort of pitch in and help out.
Mike, what have you learnt, do you reckon? I mean, you know, advice for people that are either in your situation or maybe responding to people who have pets that have gone missing?
Well, there's one thing I've learnt in sort of practical terms, which is that as well as putting up posters and calling the cat haven and all the rest of it that is important, there's actually a really active Facebook group out there called Pets of Perth, Lost and Found. And I didn't know anything about these guys before, but they've actually got about almost 17,500 likes on Facebook. So these are all people that monitor that Facebook group and post pictures. And they're actually, it's a pretty strong network of people quite a lot of people have found their cats or dogs through this website, and there's photos going up all the time on here. Bolo is on there if anyone wants to take a look. But yeah, they are a very strong community, and they've had quite a lot of success stories. They had one lady on there who lost her cat, and then 6 weeks later the cat returned, although very sadly for this woman it was on the same day that her father passed away. So you sort of hear these incredible stories of people across Perth who've lost and found animals, and it sort of forms a bit of a de facto support network for people who've lost their cats. But this was a new one on me, and it's a pretty huge Facebook group that's out there of cat and dog lovers who are all furiously posting photos and exchanging leads and bits of information and all kinds of things.
Mike, before you go, would you want to leave us a description of Bolo?
I can do that, yeah. He's small and grey. He's actually an adult cat, but he is often mistaken for a kitten. Lost around the Highgate area, quite near East Perth Station. There are posters up, and obviously there was an article on WA Today as well, which people can find with some details to link back to me. And yeah, but he's small and grey and quite friendly, and should hopefully still have his collar on.
I hope you find Bolo, mate.
Thank you very much.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
That's Mike Hopkins from WA Today, where he's a reporter. His full article is on the 5 people you meet when your cat goes missing, if you're interested in having a look at it yourself.
Drive on 720 ABC.